Bonjour tout le monde, bonjour et bienvenue au cours de français communautaire. Je m'appelle Monsieur Léo, prof Léo, et je suis votre prof de français ce matin. Bonjour, bienvenue. J'ai perdu mes lunettes ce matin et en fait, c'est un peu difficile pour moi de lire l'écran, le fond d'écran. Donc, bear with me. So I lost my glasses this morning. I have to find them. So please bear with me as I teach this lesson. It might take me a second to see because I need my glasses. So I'm doing it a little differently today. Bon, ok, très bien. Donc, avant que nous commençons, j'ai deux questions pour vous pour commencer la leçon. Ils sont... Quelle est la date aujourd'hui? Quelle est la date aujourd'hui? Ça, c'est une question que je vous demande tous les jours. Il est très facile de répondre quelle est la date aujourd'hui. Qu'est-ce que ça veut dire? What is the date today? Très bien. Bon, so, nous répondons comme ça. Aujourd'hui, c'est lundi ou mercredi. La raison pourquoi je mets lundi ou mercredi est parce que j'enseigne les lundis et les mercredis. Très bien. Bon, so aujourd'hui, c'est mercredi, le 10 mars 2021. Très bien. Ok. Aujourd'hui, c'est mercredi, le 10 mars 2021. Très bien. Et aussi, aujourd'hui, quel temps fait-il? Aujourd'hui, quel temps fait-il? Aujourd'hui, il fait... Pardon. Aujourd'hui, il fait soleil. Oui, il fait soleil aujourd'hui. Il fait... Je sais pas. Confortable. Il fait parfois... It's not cold. Et il pleut pas, il n'y a pas de brouillard, il neige pas. Très bien. Ok. Très bien tout le monde. So if you can see from the title, we're going to be working on vocabulaire. Expression avec prendre, le verbe prendre. Now, last class, we looked at the verb prendre. We've looked at it and we conjugated it. And this week, we're going to be taking those conjugations that we looked at and we're going to be applying them with expressions. Expressions in French, they're kind of unique. Some of them don't literally translate into English like we're used to. Bon, très bien. Ok. On va commencer. Très bien. Ok. Tu peux voir. Ok, très bien. So here is the conjugation for prendre. We looked at this last week. So I'm not going to go in depth with this since we looked at it in last week. But what we will do is we will say like he takes medication or he has a drink or they have breakfast, stuff like that. So and that involves conjugating the verb prendre. Okay, so let's look at the expressions of avec prendre right here. Donc. Now, I'm just going to write the verb prendre right here. With the infinitive, it's to take. Oh, this is difficult without my glasses. So I'm going to conjugate. Je, tu, il, elle, on, nous, vous, il, elle, pluriel. Très bien. Ok. Très bien, tout le monde. Donc, nous avons prend. P-R-E-N-D-S. Très bien. P-R-E-N-D-S. Très bien. P-R-E-N-D. Rien. Oui, très bien. P-R-E-N-D-O-N-S. P-R-E-N-E-Z. Très bien. Et finalement, nous avons P-R-E-N-N-E-N-T. Très bien. OK. So, voici les conjugaisons pour le verbe prendre. Très bien. Now, dans ma vidéo dernière, j'ai conjugué ce verbe. Et si vous avez des questions, allez regarder la vidéo. Très bien. OK. So, vocabulaire. Les expressions avec prendre. Expression. Qu'est-ce que ça veut dire, expression? Expressions. Très bien. Avec. Avec is a preposition meaning with. Prendre. Now, if you look at all these expressions here, this uses the verb prendre in the infinitive. What is the infinitive form of a verb? That is the most simplest form. It's like to be, to take, to speak, to play, stuff like that. So these expressions right here are used in the infinitive. To take medication, for example, is prendre un médicament. So répétez. Prendre un médicament. Très bien. That means to take a medication. So, actually, let's do the thing after. Okay, so let's review. Let's learn these expressions together. We have prendre un médicament, which means to take a medication, or to take medication in general. Prendre un verre, to have a drink, like to have a drink of like wine or coffee or what have you. Not coffee. Like anything that comes in a glass. Verre is glass in French. Prendre un café ou un thé, to have a coffee or have a tea. Notice how they use it a little differently. Prendre le petit déjeuner, to have breakfast. Prendre une décision, to make a decision. Prendre une douche, to take a shower. Prendre le train, to take the train. Now there are some of these expressions that we use a little differently in English. And this is why it's important to memorize them. So for the first one, prendre un médicament. That means to take medication. Très bien. La deuxième, prendre un verre. That means to have a drink. Prendre un café ou un thé, to have coffee or a tea. Prendre le petit déjeuner. Breakfast. Remember, we know petit déjeuner means breakfast. Prendre une décision, to make a decision. Prendre une douche, to take a shower. Très bien. Et finalement, prendre la... Très bien. To take the train. Okay, très bien. Now, some of these expressions that we see right here, some of them literally translated to English. Excusez-moi, but some of them don't. So for example, prendre un médicament. So that prendre we know means to take, right? So we do say to take medication in English. The second one, prendre un verre. Literally, it translates to take a glass. We don't say to take a drink. We do say take a drink, but that's like if you're, I don't know, like if you're with a friend or something really quickly. So we would say to have a drink for the most part. In French, you don't say j'ai un verre, which means I have a drink. You say je prends un verre, like at the bar, au bar. Prendre un café ou un thé, same thing. You don't have a drink. You take a coffee or take a tea. Literally translated. Prendre le petit déjeuner, to take breakfast, but in English it translates to have breakfast. So like in French you say, ah, maintenant je prends le petit déjeuner au resto, for example. Now I'm taking breakfast at the restaurant. Prendre une décision, to make, this literally translates to take a decision. So in French you take a decision, you don't make a decision. That's something that I always tell my students. It's always to take a decision. instead of to make a decision like we know in English. Prendre une douche, to take a shower. Prendre une douche, to take a shower. To take a bath is prendre un bain. Prendre un bain. B-A-I-N, bain. Très bien. Prendre le train means to take the train. Très bien. Okay. So now that we've reviewed these, let us... Oh, excusez-moi, mon Dieu. I think without having my glasses on makes me a little more tired. I'm not used to it. Okay. Let us play around with these expressions. So, take the first one. Prendre un... Actually, let's do prendre un verre. Okay, we'll take this one. That means to have a drink. How do I say he takes a drink? Or he has a drink? Remember, we have to conjugate prendre, right? We conjugate prendre. Il prend, oui. So, il prend un verre. Très bien. He has takes a drink. Très bien. How do I say they have breakfast? Now, when I say the subject pronoun they, 99% of the time it turns to il, because that's how French is. There could be a group of 999 women, one man, and then it always takes il. So, ils prennent, P-A-E-N-N-E-N-T, très bien, le petit déjeuner. Très bien. Ils prennent le petit déjeuner. They take breakfast. They take what next? Take breakfast. Très bien. How do I say we take a decision? Nous prenons, oui, prenons, P-R-E-N-N-O-N-S, très bien, une décision. We take, in English we say make. Oops. Make, but I'm going to put the real translation. Take a decision. Now we have the indefinite article une there. Décision is feminine. It's a feminine noun, so it always goes une. And it's a decision. Très bien. Now how do I say you, informal, take the train? Tu prends le train. You take the train. Très bien. Now finalement, how do I say I take medication? Je prends un médicament. Très bien. I take a medication. Très bien. Okay, très bien. So now we see with these expressions, even though it looks like the verb is in the infinitive, we actually conjugate these to agree. Because you cannot say je prendrai un médicament. You cannot say tu prendras un verre. No, it doesn't work like that. You have to conjugate. Just, you have to conjugate the expressions. Très bien. Okay. So that's really it. I mean, if you have any questions, please watch my last video about how I go more in depth about prendre. And then also, please look at this video, and then you can see how I conjugate le verbe prendre, how we discuss these exercises. Now, you may ask me, Prof. Leo, why are we taking so many videos? Why are we doing so many videos about prendre? Well, because it's a unique verb. It's almost like the verb être in French. Être is unique. It takes certain structures and stuff like that. And it's worth it. It's worth it looking at it a few days in a row. So, yeah. So don't worry. If you have any questions about this verb, please look at my last video. So here is a screenshot if you would like to take a screenshot of my little worksheet that I just created. And as always, this worksheet will be created on rolalang.com. and you can go there for all of your resources if you would like. If you're interested in learning more French with me and stuff like that, we have tons of worksheets up there. You just have to go on the video that you want, and then you can find the worksheet. Okay, très bien. Très bien, tout le monde. Très bien. Okay, so that's really it. That's all I have planned for today. I hope that you enjoyed my lesson, and I hope that you learned a lot. Le verbe prendre est un peu difficile pour les étrangers. The verb prendre is a little difficult for like les apprenants de français, the learners of French, the foreigners of French. So bear with us, you know, and watch my last video and watch this video, and then you should be good. Next class, lundi. Le lundi prochain, nous lirons, which is the future tense. That is, we will read a lecture, which is about prendre. So we'll see prendre in action, basically. Très bien. OK. Si vous avez des questions, n'hésitez pas de les y mettre dans les commentaires et je vais répondre dans un instant. OK. Très bien tout le monde. Et aussi, j'espère que vous passerez une bonne journée aujourd'hui et je vous verrai le mardi prochain. Au revoir. Ciao.